Alright, so this time I'm going to try to explain how nose landing gear retraction and extension works on the C5. So under normal circumstances, you took off, you put the gear up, this is what you're going to start with. We're going to have a fluid lock in this area, allowing fluid to come in through the lock side of your nose landing gear door lock valve, keeping pressure on the top sides of our nose gear door lock cylinders, keeping the doors locked. And you can see here our gear handle is drawn in the up position. Now, to think about it logically, the first thing that we're going to have to do when we put the gear down is we're going to have to open the doors, and once the doors are open, then at that point we're going to bring the gear down, lock it, and that's about it. But under normal circumstances, I drew that so you can see it easily. We're going to have hydraulic fluid waiting down here at our nose landing gear operate valve and our kneel and gear down valve, just kind of standing by. We also have this other tap off where we're going to have fluid make its way down all the way through, disengaging our brake, and this other tap off over here that's going to make its way through down to our kneel pad kneel pad. Now, because at this point we're in flight, we're going to have our pad stowed, so this is actually going to be in that position, kind of over there, blocking off this port. And what's important about that is you won't get any fluid to our shift clutch, and you won't get any fluid over here to our regulator control valve. And what that does for us is that we go from the low speed high torque that we needed for kneeling, and we're going to be in a high speed low torque setting. Alright, so the brake is disengaged, and so we decide that we want to put the gear down now. So we're going to change this, and we're going to put the gear lever down. So two things are going to happen immediately. Like I said, we need to get the doors open, so our nose landing gear door lock valve is going to swap over, and so we're going to lose all the hydraulic pressure we had here, and our nose landing gear operate valve is going to shift also. So this valve, our door lock valve, is going to shift to the unlock position. It's going to allow hydraulic fluid to go here, and the hydraulic fluid is going to come from the open side of our operate valve. It's going to make its way through here, and there's kind of like a T tap off. We have fluid making its way this way for nose landing gear steering. As we follow this tap off some more, we're going to find that it makes its way all the way down to the unlock side of our door lock valve. And so we're going to have fluid here, and it's the same on both sides. You'll notice that immediately it's going to unlock our aft doors, and we have this balance relief valve, and the whole purpose of that is so that our aft doors get unlocked first. It kind of slows down the fluid before it makes its way to the forward doors, and that's supposed to be because of air loading. The doors can get hung up if they don't unlock the aft doors first. And like I said, fluid will make its way over here to this other side, doing the same thing. Aft door first, and then it'll do the forward door. Alright, so now that the doors are unlocked, we end up with an in-transit indication up in the flight deck. Alright, now this guy right here, this kind of fluid restrictor, because of that, it happens simultaneously, but the fluid restrictor restricts it just enough to where the doors can unlock first before the hydraulic fluid hits our motor and starts opening up our doors. And so as the doors open, as you can see, here's the hydraulic motor, which is going to turn, our gearbox or our drives, and it's going to open up the doors. Once all the doors are completely open, at that point we're going to go from the in-transit two red wheels. The sequence control panel will see that, and at that point it will shift our nose landing gear down lock valve to allow fluid at that point to make its way through here, come through, make its way, and it will apply pressure to the top side of this, top side of our down lock or up lock, basically unlocking our up lock, which then will allow our gear down selector valve right here to shift, and it'll move to the down position. And at that point we'll have hydraulic fluid making its way here, and like we said earlier, well, I'll draw this out. So we have hydraulic fluid shifting over that shuttle valve, making its way over, unlocking the brake, and because we now have our kneel pad was stowed and we're in high speed, low torque, at that point we have two ports where fluid can get by here, making it the high speed all the way down to our motor, essentially spinning our motor, which is going to shift our gearbox and bring the gear completely out of the well. And once it gets to the down lock position right here at our down lock, because of the fluid we had standing by at the top of the down lock, it will lock, and then at that point we're going to end up with green wheels. So the last few things that are going to happen here are our gear down selector valve. Once the gear is down and locked, it will shift over to a trail center, and we will end up losing our hydraulic fluid pressing the gear down. Also, our nose landing gear door operate valve, this one is actually energized and detented to the open position, and it kind of makes sense because once the gear is down, you want to make sure that you have it detented in the down position. That way, if you were to lose hydraulic pressure at that point, because it's detented, you would have door lock, or I'm sorry, not door lock, but hydraulic pressure provided to keep the doors unlocked, and then you would also have pressure to your nose landing gear steering once you do land. And then our down lock valve over here is going to stay in the energized position to make sure that it has pressure on the top side of the down lock, keeping it down and locked.